You know things are not going well for Donald Trump when even the Fox propaganda outlet has to deliver him some bad news. And that is exactly what happened. Not only breaking Donald Trump's heart with a bombshell that they dropped on him, but also breaking Jesse Waters' heart that Donald Trump is kind of hit a block in the road with one of his nominees for his cabinet. A huge loss for Trump, a huge loss for Fox, and a big win for the rest of the country. And we are going to get into all of that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video. And if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we get into what Fox had to drop on Donald Trump, the terrible news, I want to check out Tulsi Gabbard getting absolutely grilled in her Senate confirmation hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to repeat my colleague's question to you. Thank you for being here to answer these questions and for your service. Was Edward Snowden a traitor to the United States of America?
Senator, I will also repeat my answer. He broke the law.
You said earlier that you were offended by a question that my colleague from Kansas asked, which I think was his duty as somebody on this committee to fulfill his responsibility to advise and consent. We are not here to be a rubber stamp for the President of the United States. So let me ask you again, do you believe, as the chairman of this committee believes, as the vast majority of members of our intelligence agencies believe, that Edward Snowden was a traitor to the United States of America?
Senator, if confirmed as Director of National Intelligence, I will work with you to make sure that there is not another Snowden-like leak.
Media. It's not a moment to propagate theories, conspiracy theories, or attacks on journalism in the United States. This is when you need to answer the questions of the people whose votes you're asking for to be confirmed as the Chief Intelligence Officer of this nation. As my colleague said, this is not about you. It's about the people that serve the intelligence agencies of the United States. Is Edward Snowden a traitor to the United States of America? That is not a hard question to answer when the stakes are this high.
Senator, as someone who has served in
yes
uniform,
or no, is Edward Snowden a traitor to the United States of America?
As someone who has worn our uniform in combat, I understand how critical our national security is.
Apparently you don't. Apparently you don't. Let me ask you, I've worked very hard to put your own words here in front of the committee. Not, fake news, not conspiracy theories on the internet, but the actual things that you have said. On February 23rd, 2022, at the very moment that Russian tanks were rolling across the peaceful border of Ukraine for the first time, you tweeted at 11:30 p.m. your time, "This war and suffering could have easily been avoided if Biden administration / NATO had simply acknowledged Russia's legitimate security concerns regarding Ukraine's becoming a member of NATO." Did you say that, yes or no?
I believe you're reading my tweet, Senator.
Yes is the answer. A few months later, you said on your podcast, and I quoted it, quote, "But this regime change war against Russia that the U.S. and NATO are waging via their proxy in Ukraine didn't begin when Putin invaded Ukraine. They had their eyes set on this objective long before that." Did you say that, yes or no?
I believe you're reading my tweet.
Thank
There's
you.
a lot
The answer
more.
is yes.
It is difficult to say which of the remaining cabinet nominees for Donald Trump are the scariest. Whether it's RFK Jr., whether it's Tulsi Gabbard, whether it's the position vacant at the FBI that Donald Trump wants Kash Patel to fill, it's really difficult. But if you want to make the argument for Tulsi, I feel like she will get significantly less media coverage. It will be more difficult to publicly oppose her decisions. Now, that doesn't mean that is the most important thing, but I feel like she will get swept under the rug, whereas the other two may be a little bit more public. And Tulsi Gabbard certainly terrifies me in the intelligence that she would share with Donald Trump, or wouldn't share with Donald Trump, and would share with our enemies, and wouldn't share with our allies. I'm just scared for Tulsi Gabbard. And that's why a couple of Republicans are as well. Let's take a look at what was said on Fox.
Back to serving the American people and telling us the truth. Wouldn't that be a refreshing change?
Do your Republican colleagues understand what's going to happen if they vote down Tulsi?
You know, I don't know. And I have to tell you, I'm worried by what I hear from some of my Republican colleagues. I'm worried that her nomination may be in jeopardy. And I'm just worried about what that will mean. It will mean that the reforms that we desperately need in the intelligence space, let's not just pretend everything is fine and dandy and hunky-dory in the intelligence community. It's not. Besides the fact that they have missed major issues. I mean, and besides the fact they misled us on COVID, for example, for so long, we need reform to stop the abuse of things like FISA Section 702, stop spying on Americans. I hope Tulsi gets confirmed because we need that kind of reform.
Well, now I'm worried that you're worried, Senator. And
Josh Hawley and Jesse Waters feel like Tulsi Gabbard is in jeopardy. We got some positive news, y'all. When they're upset, we have something to be happy about. That is great. And it's news that's not going to make Donald Trump happy, which is even more hope for us. Guys, we're getting a couple of wins. They're here and there. We really got to look and dig deep for them, but they are there. And it didn't stop with Tulsi Gabbard and Fox kind of dropping some bombshells on Donald Trump. Larry Kudlow decided to admit the secret that MAGA has been trying to conceal for, I guess, months now about Donald Trump's tariffs. He just said it live on air. I want to check it out here.
Because she was asked a few moments ago in that briefing room, well, isn't this in itself inflationary?
No.
She said that's a hypothetical. So how do you see these playing out?
I mean, these are, you might see some one-off price increases for things, okay? But that's all. They're very temporary.
Yeah, not super surprising to anyone with a basic understanding of economics that Donald Trump's tariffs will, in fact, raise prices on consumers. That's what they do. I know Donald Trump doesn't understand that. Not a lot going on in that brain, but shouldn't be a shock. It might be a shock to the Fox audience, who's going to be pretty upset when their other groceries, along with their eggs, which are up, 60% at this point since Donald Trump was inaugurated? 35, 45, 55, 65%? I don't know. They just keep skyrocketing. But it's good because the rest of your stuff will get more expensive too. And that's what you wanted, right? That's why you voted for Donald Trump's tariffs, because you wanted things to be more Oh, no, you didn't? Yeah. Sounds like you should have voted for Kamala Harris then. You'll get them next time. Hopefully. Don't throw our country under the bus again. Oh, it's so difficult. But at least we have a little bit of hope, like I said, that the nomination of Tulsi Gabbard could get blocked. And if you want some hope, check out some more of her getting grilled in the Senate.
For a
Extensively.
second. So did you look into his credentials, yes or no?
Yes.
And were you aware of his appearances on Russian Today, which is used by the Russians to disseminate government-approved messages?
No.
Were you aware Postal relied on a chemistry student with a record of defending the Assad regime?
At that time, I was not. I have been made aware since.
Do you consider this person or these two individuals now, do you consider them a better source for the chemistry of sarin gas than the U.S. intelligence community?
I assess that at the time, the information, I don't know the second person you're referring to, but MIT professor Ted Postel and the inspectors of the OPCW provided some credible questions that deserved examination.
Okay, thank you. Did you attempt to weigh Postel's claims against the significant evidence and assessments already conducted by the IC?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you. So here's my concern here, Colonel. When we began this, you described a thoughtful approach to analyzing intelligence and reaching conclusions. This is what we expect of our professionals. But we just kind of walked through how you came to question Assad's use of chemical weapons in these two cases with a different approach. And I don't reject seeking out differing viewpoints. We need to do that. But you started from a place of doubting the conclusions of the U.S. intelligence community, and then you sought out information that confirmed your viewpoint. That led you to embrace the opinions of two individuals that I think we disagree on this. You think they had expertise, I do not, and others do not. But these individuals were sympathetic to Russia and the Assad regime. It also led you to minimize or discount the overwhelmingly information that contradicted your viewpoint, including the expert assessments of our own intelligence community. And they don't get it right 100% of the time. I get that. But what I have seen makes it clear that at the same time that you were skeptical of our intelligence community's assessments, you would not apply the same skepticism to information that came from sympathizers of Russia and Assad. And I think that's something that we should all be concerned about. Thank you. And I'm sorry for going over my time.
Thank you, Senator Kelly.
Much like every one of Donald Trump's other nominees for his cabinet, wholly unqualified, completely dangerous, absolute psycho. Like, let's be blunt. We don't need to beat around the bush here. These people are nuts, and they should be nowhere near any positions of power. They are there to appease Donald Trump, to make his billionaire buddies richer, and in Tulsi's case, to help out dictators. She's essentially a mini Trump herself. Loves those dictators. Great job, MAGA. You're really picking them well, aren't you? I'm so tired of these people. But we got to call them out. And if you want to support that, we're going to be doing it on this show every single day. It's going to get more difficult every single day, but I'm glad I have you in the fight. I really am. And if you want to support the work that we're doing here, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, I know it's hard these days to watch these videos in full. I appreciate you doing it, but you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.